So she'll be here in 5 minutes, I think, 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. So today it's gonna be just the introduction, and I tell you a little bit what this method does, Neurographica, and I'll give you some exercises to practice your hand. And if you want to go further, then we will schedule next time, and we will start really on doing how it's called basic user. In Neurographica, there are like 3 levels. Neurographica instructor. When you finish that full course, then you can teach it. And there is Neurographica specialist. There are some algorithms that you can do a practice, like a coaching practice with somebody else. And there is the first level is called basic user. So before you do before you do something else, you really have to do this basic user course, because you practice and you understand the method and all the algorithms, all the rules. You need to pass this basic user course. Before that, you can't go further. But also, the basic user course, when you pass this, then you have a skill. You don't have to go further. This is just a skill for yourself to use it. And it's really enough for yourself if you're using just for yourself at home to do your work with your psychology and emotions and projects and all that. So there are these 3 levels. Today it's an introduction, and if you decide you want to go further, we'll do these live meetings, and you get to learn this basic user, and I will give you a certificate, and then you'll have it.
Perfect. I think that's exciting. Yeah. Okay.
That's really awesome. So well, I guess I can tell you a little bit theory, and then I'll switch cameras and I'll show you what we got. So Neurographica was founded by a Russian architect and psychologist, Pavel Piskarev, in 2014. It's really just 10 years old. It's not that old method, but it's very popular right now. It got so popularized, like it took a fire, like in Russia, especially, of course, when he started in Russia. Like every psychologer has this method in their in their
toolbox. Yeah.
In their toolbox. This is a method, a tool, not everything, not the method, but one of the tools that somebody can choose and use it for themselves. So when actually this Neurographica, the name of that method, came to him like an insight from out of blue. He was flying over in the plane, and this word came in, and he thought, "What the hell? What is that? What is that word, Neurographica?" So he Googled it, and there was no such word. It just came to him. So later on, he realized that this word came because he was already an architect. And what Neurographica means is neuro, brain, neurons, and graphica is literally drawing, structuring, sketching. So later on, he realized that he was already an architect, and he was doing all sort of inner works, transformational, doing meditations and everything, reading on psychology. And he realized that this is something for him to do next. So he started developing and looking into it, and created this method, and created Psychology of Creativity Institute. And then he graduated and got his PhD in psychology. So he became really a scientist, psychologist, and this architect. He still does his architecture business. He builds. He has his construction company, and now he's building like theaters. He's doing like neurographical theaters.
Here is Chiara. Sorry. Here is Chiara.
Nice. She didn't miss much. You can tell her.
Yeah, no, we recorded, or actually you recorded too, just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yara, how are you? You're exercising. That's awesome. Is your gym far away?
No, it's literally like 2 minutes away.
Oh, cool. That's really cool. Okay, so this is how this Neurographica came into being. But what really this method is like when you're drawing, you paying attention to the lines and forms, and I'll explain later on the list when I'll show you. But it like connects your brain to your body, and then you add meanings to it, and then you like working really on your own thoughts, on your own behaviors, and what our behaviors are, the ones that we don't like. It's like neural pathways. They actually, every topic, every thought that we have, it has its own pathway that neurons travels like. So if we have a, let's say, a topic, my work, I don't have a work, I don't have a job, that topic has a neural pathway in our brain. So the thought travels all the same, and we're running this topic, I don't have a work, I don't have a work. So to break that neural pathway, we have to do something, and Neurographica is a method to help to break that pathway, something that we want to change. So what definition of what Neurographica is, I'm sorry, this is something. The definition of what Neurographica is a facilitation to your project. And the project is any change. So let's say I want to change my career. I want to change my relationship with somebody. I want to move to another house. And I want to have a change in income. Any change is a project. And there is no limit. Whatever you want to pick as a topic, as a project, is you can work with Neurographica. So it really, Neurographica, what is helping you to achieve that project easier. It helps you to change something, so you can go through that process of thinking, of changing your behavior through Neurographica, through drawing, through this tool. And there are, like I said, there are no limits. You can, anything you pick a topic today, that's your project, that's your drawing. And Neurographica is like not a project, not a drawing that you're making mindlessly. It's actually working with your own inner world. It's packed with meanings, and you are packing the meanings. You are creating this image on the paper. You are projecting what's in your mind. So you make your own meanings out of it. And then you see it, and then you get that feedback also that, oh, I created this. I have this problem. There are algorithms. The first algorithm is called algorithm of removing limitations. So we really start with removing all sorts of limitations from our mind, something that we want to change. And then we can build something that we want to construct that's further. But the first algorithm is to remove limitation. And I'll show you in the next, maybe in the next meeting, we'll see how it goes, how to remove that first algorithm. But you, the beginning, the alphabet, how it works, the lines and everything, so you can practice your hand and see if you, how you want to do it, okay? So basically, that's the definition of Neurographica. There are many definitions. You can call it a style of art. later on you can create, like an art. There is like a lot of, and that's what I'm going now. It's like NeuroArt. Like I do this chakras sacred geometry combined with Neurographica. This is more like a NeuroArt, but also you can add meaning to it. So it's that's further down, but today I want to just start and help you to practice and see how you feel about it. Okay?
Su papiri, otvori tuđe printer, samo otvori printer.
Get a paper and a marker or a pen or whatever you have and try it. Just try it for yourself. You can explain anything, but when you try it, then you really have your experience. So I'm gonna switch my camera and I'll show you what I'm doing so you can follow, okay? And then you'll show me later what you got, okay? Or a pencil. Well, it's easier with a marker because pencil might be like too weak. But if you don't have a marker, that's fine.
Yeah, we have a marker. We have a marker.
So what is Neuroline? Like there is an alphabet in Neurographica, and it has literally 4 letters, as you can say. It's a circle, a triangle, square, and line. So in the beginning, for basic user, we only gonna use circle and lines. Those triangles and squares, they are in a further course for neurocomposition and towards. But for the beginning, we only gonna use circles and lines. And there is a reason for that. And I'll explain it a little bit later. But today we're gonna focus on, well, I can tell you really, the triangles, they are like sharp edges, and we perceive them as a sharp, and sharp is a conflict. So when we see something sharp, we see it as a conflict. So before we start, and we can use them, the triangles and squares are useful, but we need to know how to use them safely. So today we're gonna just focus on circles and lines. The line is like energy, like connecting something in Neurographica. We connect those forms that we give meaning to, we connect it with lines. And the lines is like a thought, an energy of our own. And to practice this line, you can think of, or even you can get an image from internet or something. Imagine there are waves of the ocean or mountains, the silhouette of mountains, something like that. Try to draw it. Try to draw it and see how your hand goes. It's not mindlessly. It's not intuitively. Like you can't do it closed hands because you need to see it where it's going. You are actually drawing it consciously. You're not drawing intuitively where your hand goes without thinking. You still need to connect your mind to it. Like, let's say, you can, like automatically draw something like this. Sometimes you sit in a meeting and you just draw like this. Something repeating, like a stereotype. Yeah, like something is running in your head and you are drawing the same thing. So this is like a repetition. And in Neurographica, there are no repetition at all. They are like bionic lines that in a nature, there is nothing repeating. There is actually nothing whatsoever repeating. There is no the same thing. Even the tree or something creek, like a creek, it never repeats itself. It goes where it goes and it never repeats. So the definition of the neurographic line is it does not repeat in any particular distance. Like, for example, see, like I drew this. And if we divide this in any kind of distance, it's all these lines are different. In any distance, it is different. So this is what a neurographic line is. There are two parts. So the line, neurographic line, never repeats itself in any distance. And also we lead it where we do not expect it to see. So when, for example, if we know we want from A to B, we draw like this. Or even if we know how we're gonna do it, we can do it like this, like stereotyping. But here, we not really know how we're gonna drive it. Even if we know we're gonna go from one side of the page to over there, it's like there is an intention. Of course, I'm gonna draw an intention, but I don't really know how it's gonna go. So I'm just drawing, like, kind of, okay, I think I know I want to go there, but I know I need to make it different. So you consciously trying to draw naturally, it becomes naturally then, but you need to practice. And so your hand kind of knows that it's connected to your mind and it does not repeat itself. You actually cannot repeat that line. You drew a line like that and it's not possible to repeat it unless you really like trying, follow this, and still it goes over there. It's a little bit thicker, and over there is a little bit thinner. But so to practice that, you can also kind of follow your first line. See, like you drew a line, and then try to follow it, and it still goes different. It still goes a little bit different. So this is literally you breaking a pattern in your brain. Your neural network is broken. Your stereotype thing, what you did, you breaking it literally. So Piskarev, he says often, and he likes this joke. He says, you're doing your own brain surgery with a marker. Like literally, it's that effective. So these are the lines you can think about, like waves of the ocean and mountains. It can be like a creek or a smoke, how the smoke is going from the chimney or something. It never goes the same. It always goes it always go up, but it always go in a different wave. So these are the waves of the neurographic line. This is what neurographic line are. They do not repeat itself on any particular distance, and we lead them where we do not expect them to stay. So when we draw something and then we do many lines, this is one of the algorithm in Neurographica, also in a basic user course. After we do this removing limitation, if we don't know the topic, if we just don't know what to set intention, there is a topic of revealing of intention. So we draw this field, the field like universal field, morphic field, however you want to call it. We draw these lines. We make a page full of lines. So they are intersect. They are crisscross and goes where we don't want them, where we don't expect them to see. So these crossings are, this is what we need to learn. And this is super, super important. So when the line crosses, our brain perceives it as a angle, sharp angle, as a conflict. So we need to make all those lines smooth. And it's called conjoining or rounding. It's rounding is not like that. See, I showed you, like there is a crossing, and this is not a rounding, because if we round like that, there is another like 2, 4, 6, 8 corners created. 8 sharp corners are created. Those edges are not really perceived as safe place for us. So we need to round them. And when, for example, if we draw with a sharp marker, I'll show you, and then we crisscross, and if we're doing it with a sharp marker, then it's a little bit more difficult to conjoin with the same size, because see, there are these, again, these are like edges. These are like sharp edges that sticking out like eagles, sticking out from this conjoining. So what I did in the beginning, for me, it was kind of difficult to conjoin with the same. So when I do something with draw a composition or something with my marker, then I take a thinner liner or a pen, and then it's much easier to conjoin with those. So I really recommend to do this, and then it goes faster, because you will see there are a lot of those crossings, a lot of those edges, sharp edges, you will need to conjoin. And when you have this, when you made this first composition, it's like, oh my God, now there is so much work to do to conjoin it. And this conjoining is a third step in the algorithm that you must do. Otherwise, you can go further. There is no point of creating something that is edgy, something in your project that you go on anxiety or pushing people around. This is what we are, how we live, really, when we do, when we think about project and we only think what we need to do right now. It's overwhelming. You know, it's all these things we need to do, and they are like this, and like, holy shit, it looks painful. It's like so much to do. You don't even want to do it. So this is part of the conjoining that helps you to calm down. Like, for me, you know, I didn't tell you this, but Neurographica came to my life in, I think, most difficult time of my life, like a couple years ago. I could not do anything. I was depressed. The only thing I could do, I was going on the beach for a walk. I go for a walk. It's fine when I'm walking. I come back. I only go to bed. So one day I go for a walk on the beach, and I think, oh my God, there must be something that can pull me out. Something. So I was talking to myself, to God, to the universe, whatever. Just give me something that can pull me out of this state. So I did this, and I come back home, and I went to bed. So I went to bed, and I turn on Instagram to look, and this thing pops up. The girl shows something of Neurographica. I'm like, what the hell is that? I never heard of this. It was so interesting because she was saying this is a psychological method. And I'm like, I thought I was already know a lot about psychology because I've been studying a long time. And I never heard of this. So I start looking into this. I didn't sleep that day. So I start looking. And that's how I got into this Neurographica thing. And it really helped me to pull me out from this state what I was. So later, when I start drawing, I could not do anything but draw. So I was just drawing, and it was still interesting because it was something that it, like every drawing was different. Like I drew over 600 drawings, and each of them is different. It's like not even possible to make the same drawing. Like when we draw even with a teacher on a certain algorithm, all drawings are different. Nobody can make the same drawing. So I think that's what kind of pulled me out Like I thought, a lot of times I personally, I start doing something and it becomes boring, like even cooking, like I'm cook, it's interesting. And then it so well, it's all the same. It becomes boring. So this for me, I thought, okay, this will become boring again, but it didn't. So it was like every time is different. So I drew for like 3 weeks and then I thought, that's it. I'm gonna learn further. And I got into this instructor course right away. It was quite difficult because I really didn't learn much before I stepped into this instructor. The course is very intense, but every day. And then later I thought I cannot do it. It was so intense. So what I did, I said, okay, I'm gonna do something every day, little by little. So I did every day something. Sometimes when I was doing like diploma work, I could not even do a full drawing. So I sit down and I do one step because there is an algorithm of 8 steps. And so I did one step, just one step. Anyway, so was my kind of journey. But the conjoining, this rounding, is a 3rd step in algorithm, and it's super duper important. So for right now, we're gonna do this composition that will help you to practice your hand and and see how you can make it into pretty. So something like this. We're gonna do circles. Let me tell you a little bit more about circles. What Neurographica is also a kind of diagnostic tool. When you learn further, then you kind of know what a person feels when somebody draws. But you have to know there is also writing. You need to write and describe what you feel. So when we're checking students' works now, it's not possible to read something if you just see, if you only see drawing. Yeah, it's beautiful, but you don't know what it means, because person who drew it, he had probably different meanings than you do. So when we do a supervisions for students now, we look at the drawing. There are technical things that needs to be done, but we also read what he described. There is a description, and we need to do those description, because by description, we actually furthermore get to know yourself better. It's like we're so disconnected from ourselves that we don't even know what we feel. I did that too. I draw something and I need to describe. And it's like, I don't feel anything. Like, literally, it's not possible to not feel. If you are still breathing, you are feeling. You just don't connect that feeling to give meaning, but we always feel something. So the descriptions that we're gonna do in Neurographica is really, really important. And I'll show you in the next probably meeting, because it's too much for today, show you how to do the descriptions. And then for this user, if you want to get that certificate and learn the method, you really need to do that description. But for right now, the circles I was telling you about, there are some diagnostics. Like, for example, like if in a drawing, all sort of, like, let's say this, a big circle, small circle, and middle circles, it's not just for composition. Of course, the composition looks better when there are three sizes of figures and 3 sizes of lines. Then it looks better. Then you have an impression in your brain that this is something that you like. But on the other hand, the circle, if it's a small circle, it's like you are inside. You are really more inside, like more closed, more inner person, like more probably introvert. if you have more middle circles, it's like you are connecting to people. You are trying to solve kind of everything through connecting to other people. And if you have bigger circles, then this is like a higher energy. It's like you sort of get connected to the field, to this morphic field. So it's important to have all those sizes of circles. And if you look, sometimes you draw something and you get so focused, you do this composition and you're drawing and you see, like for me personally, I used to draw just a middle, basically all my circles were middle. And then I realized, I thought, wow, I thought I was introvert. So where is my little circles? Then when you have this composition, kind of when you are so focused in it and look at it, there is a step in the algorithm to correct it, to do something, to construct what you want. So in a composition, when you make it, you literally think, I need to add this more. I know I need to add this. And you add these bigger or smaller or middle circles to your composition. So you get a better result. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the circle, in the beginning, why are we drawing circles and lines? So in a universal kind of understanding, of course, there are different meanings you can add to different things on individual level, but most likely circle is pretty safe form because we are associated with sun, with earth, with something that is safe, really. So there are no sharp edges. Like triangle can be, of course, triangle can be dynamic. It can be added to composition if you want to if you want to add more movement to your further step in a project. But in the beginning, when you look at it, it's like sharp, it's like a sword or a knife or something that you're trying to avoid. And when we look at something unconsciously, we like if we see something, for example, sticking out, we kind of have these associations that, oh my gosh, this might be a snake, or this might be a knife or a sword or something. So that's why we want to start with circles and lines, so we know that it's safe. We kind of like soothe our emotions, soothe our inner like a unconscious that I can do something if I make it safe. When it's not safe, we can't really do something to create. We really create when we're safe. When we're not safe, we are in a state of fighting or freezing or running because it's not safe. So when we are in that state of survival, on fighting or running, then it's painful. It's kind of hard, and all this stress that we get every day, there is so much demand in these days, and we are really most of the time we're living in that survival mode, in that unsafe place. So it's kind of hard to create something when we're really thinking just how to survive until the next day. So this is what this rounding and conjoining corners gives you a feeling of safety, of like soothing, that you can go further. So this is, I'm proposing now that homework to make a composition of containing a big circle and a few smaller circles. As many as you want, this is your homework. something like that. And you can add as many as you want, of course. And then all those circles, so the page, it represents like a space, like a universal field. And in that space, we have these circles. We don't even have a meaning for right now. We're not drawing on a topic. Usually, every drawing in Neurographica must be with a topic. But today, I just want you to practice the hand and to feel a little bit kind of soothing effect in general when you're doing it. Okay? But still, we cannot leave in Neurographica some forms like flowing around unattached to anything. We want them to attach everything in Neurographica, every figure, every form has to be integrated. It does not flow on itself anywhere unnoticed. So we do make these circles and attach them to the lines, connect them with your lines, and then round them up. So this is gonna be your homework. And I'm gonna do one myself, and I'll show you later. And you do one for yourself, if you would. And then you show me, okay?
Perfect.
So when we round this, you really start rounding, and it could, if you do a lot of circles and a lot of lines, it could look like there are so many, and you get kind of frustrated. You get like, oh my gosh, that is a lot of work. All these lines you need to round. It's okay. Yeah, I understand. I had so much frustration. Sometimes I do a composition and then, oh my God, so much work to do. But it becomes like a meditation. Now it's my favorite step of the algorithm. I can sit and round and round and round for hours. But when you're rounding, notice yourself. Try to notice, what do I feel? Okay, I rounded, I didn't feel anything. But it's okay. You still ask yourself, what did I feel? No, I didn't feel anything. Okay, I'm supposed to feel something. Let's see, I'll round more and I will see what I feel. This is like talking to yourself. This is the reason for this is so you can actually start feeling yourself and start connecting what you feel and what you think about. You think about something, it's not safe. Oh, but I cannot think about it because it's too scary, because I know I'm gonna feel bad. So this is, you start thinking and you know what you're gonna feel. You make a new impression. Okay, I felt bad about this. And then you round more and you think, well, I rounded. It doesn't look that scary anymore. Maybe I can do something about it. So you round this up and it becomes quite, not that terrible anymore. It looks more kind of safe. So this is what I want you to do today, and think about it. And then we'll probably meet again tomorrow, not tomorrow, but whenever you want to do it. And we'll do the algorithm of removing limitation if you want to. How about that?
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much.